Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
See some, I see some familiar faces. Hello, hello. Just so you know, you've all been muted because otherwise there's a lot of background noise. If you happen to have a headset that you can plug into your computer, it will reduce a lot of background noise for you when you are listening. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes. I know there's a few more people that are supposed to be signing on. Okay, I think we can probably get started. I'm sure a few more people will join us, but hello everybody. Thank you for joining us today on our second Departures Lounge virtual travel talk. It's great to see some familiar faces. Some of you I've traveled with, so that's wonderful. So just a couple housekeeping things. In the top right hand of your screen, you have a choice of speaker view or gallery view. The gallery view allows you to see everybody on the screen at the same time. The speaker view, you'll just see whoever's talking. So that's up to you. I kind of like the gallery view. I leave it on gallery because I like to see all of your faces when I'm chatting. And just gives us a little bit of an idea who's on. So also, again, if you have earbuds, it makes it a lot nicer for you to listen. You get less of the screeching that sometimes happen with internet web calls. So first of all, a little bit about Departures Lounge. Obviously, we can't get together in person right now, so we thought this was the next best thing. And our plan is to come on weekly and do these little half-hour to 45-minute chats about all things interesting, new, and exciting in the world of travel. And this week, we're really excited to talk about the islands of Tahiti because there's been, well, the four of us that are co-hosting here have all recently been to Tahiti on the Gauguin cruise. So, and of course, a couple of you that are on the call today were also with me on the last trip that we did. So I'm Kathy Scott. I'm the owner of Departures Travel in Oak Bay, as well as co-owner of Departures Travel in Sydney. And on the call today is Kathy Larson, who is the co-owner of the Sydney store, and Colleen Johnson, who is the agent extraordinaire in the Departures Travel in Oak Bay. And we have Vicky Lubyk from Gauguin Cruises with us, and she's the speaker today, or the person that we're going to be speaking with, really is the way I should be saying that. And so again, as I mentioned, the three of us have just recently come back from trips, and Vicky's probably always on a trip on Gauguin. I think you've been on something like 9 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few, so that's quite nice. So, sorry, my brain just went off. I had an over 50 moment. It just went completely blank for a minute there. Anyway, so what we wanted to talk about was a little bit about why Tahiti is on most people's bucket list. And we wanted to share some of our experiences while we were there. So let's first of all start out with Kathy Larson. Do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Kathy Larson. I've been in the industry for 35 plus years, and I didn't get to go to Tahiti as recently as Kathy and Colleen, but it was last year, and I would go every year if I could.
Absolutely. And Colleen, what about you?
My name's Colleen Johnson, and I have been in the industry I was fortunate enough to just get back from Tahiti. In fact, I watched the whole COVID thing start to unfold while I was on board. So very new, back from Tahiti.
Great. And let's just introduce our host, Vicky, or I guess our speaker, Vicky, today. Vicky Lubyk is someone that we've known for quite a few years, and she has been in the travel business for well over 30 years. And she started actually as a frontline travel advisor many years ago, and then came into the side of the business she's in now, which is representing luxury cruise lines. She spent a number of years representing Windstar, Silversea, and Seabourn, and then moved into the role she is in now 11 years ago. And I think that it's a beautiful role to be in, representing one beautiful boutique ship and in such an extraordinary destination. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, Vicky?
Yeah, well, I just, thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I have been in the industry for quite a few years, and lucky enough to have sailed on many, many different cruise lines, represented lots of luxury cruise brands, and always enjoyed cruising. Even when I was a travel advisor, before I got onto the supplier side, I think I'd sailed on maybe 18 or 20 cruises at that point. I just love the idea of the all-inclusive experience that you have with a cruise ship. And then, of course, you know, every cruise is great, but there's something about these small little vessels. Our ship, maximum 332 guests, getting close into the destination. Like that, and fewer people, no lineups, no waiting, no nickel and diming. It's a lovely way to experience these beautiful little islands.
Well, we certainly enjoyed it, that's for sure. So we wanted to talk a little bit more about what each of us felt about Tahiti and the beautiful islands surrounding it. And so, Vicky, what's your favorite island and favorite experience in Tahiti?
Yeah, each of them are so different, but for me, it's Motu Mahana. And a lot of people that, if you're familiar with, there's 118 islands in French Polynesia. It's probably not one that you know of as well, but it's our private retreat that we have that's exclusive to Paul Gauguin guests. So we have lavish barbecue there, beautiful beaches. The water there is 27 degrees year round. So it's bathwater warm, crystal clear. You can walk straight out into the ocean for 15 minutes and you're up to your chest in bathwater warm water. Crystal clear, all kinds of fish as well. And just a really great beach day that we have. Everyone's drinking out of coconuts. We have floating bars. So when you're tired of drinking out of coconuts, we have a floating bar. Bring the paddle boards and the kayaks from the ship as well. So it's just, it's a highlight. It's one of those little gems that you're not expecting. But even when we do our repeaters cruise once a year, we usually go twice to Motu Mahana because that's a favorite for a lot of our guests as well.
I really loved it there. We, the day that we were there, the weather was, it was really nice. And then all of a sudden the skies just opened up and it came down unbelievably. And we all jumped off of our picnic benches and we ran in under the grass shacks and had some drinks. And then the next minute we were out in the water snorkeling and it was just magical. It was a lovely day. Yeah. And it's funny, I was saying earlier that the rain in Tahiti was something that I know there was a couple people that were concerned before we left about the weather. They thought, oh, well, we might be hitting the rainy season. Right. And what I found myself was that we did get rain. I mean, there's no question. It was unbelievable sometimes, but it would be beautiful sunny weather. And then all of a sudden a little cloud would kind of whip over top of you and it would just open up like a tap, but it was warm and sunny and, you know, on the other side. And it was just, I loved it. I just thought it was.
You went in January, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so January. So the two rainiest months really are December and January. We get rain from about the end of November till about the end of February, March. It's unusual to ever get day after day of rain. But I say for folks, if it's going to ruin your vacation to get some rain, don't travel those months. Because like you had, it's very likely that you will at some point you'll get rain. And when it rains, you're right, it's torrential. Right, but I figure I was on 1 year too where we had some rain and everyone was just saying it's not snow, you don't have to shovel it. It's all good. It's still 30 degrees, so it's okay, like sunshine.
Well, I think for myself, I actually love the sun, but I think if I was there when it was all day heat It would be too much. It was warm even when we were there, and it was beautifully warm, and we really enjoyed it. So I think I would definitely go that time of year again. I thought that it was great. We had good weather.
I was just going to say, in terms of heat, Tahiti is almost the same equal to Hawaii in that we get very few days are more higher than 30 and lower and less than 25 degrees. So really, it's just a matter of the amount of rainfall we get more than the temperature. The temperature is pretty moderate.
Yeah, I found it quite good. And Kathy Larson,
Yes.
what was your favorite thing about French Polynesia, Tahiti?
Oh, we went in January as well, and we're a little nervous about what the weather might be like. But like Vicky said, you know, it's a torrential downpour for 10 minutes, and then you're back to beautiful sunshine. And just when the clouds came in and the water changed colors and everything, it was just so beautiful. But I think probably my favorite was our day in Bora Bora. We actually had a group of 10 people with me, and we chartered a little boat to take us around the island for what was supposed to be a 3-hour tour. And it ended up being 5 hours. And we snorkeled, we swam with sharks, we swam with stingrays. We just had the most amazing day. And on the boat, we had the driver played the bongo drums as he was going along, and we had one of his relatives that was along playing ukulele, and she was singing. It was just unbelievable.
That's great.
You know what I love about that when you do that coral gardens like that as well too? I mean, because the first time I swam with stingrays was in the Caribbean, where there was lots of boats, and you get there and there's 40 people on 5 boats, and there's in Tahiti. I've had one other time where there was one other boat that was there, and usually it's small boats, 12, 10 people, like you said. So it's really remarkable. That's my favorite excursion.
The swimming with the sharks was a little. I've done it when we were in Belize, and you're in sort of in waist deep water. This we were in really, really deep water. Really deep
Were you standing?
Oh gosh, no.
I saw that. I've done in Bora Bora where you're right up to your chest in water, so you almost have to go down.
No, we dove in, and the sharks were there were lemon sharks that were way far away, probably, I don't know, 30 feet away. But then the tiger sharks were much closer. But we were swimming with them. Yeah.
That's great. When we were there, I think it was probably chest height in water, and my mom and one of the other ladies jumped off, and it was so cute to watch them. I've got some great videos, and unfortunately the videos wouldn't work on this Zoom call, but I would have loved to have shown some of those. They were really great. Mm-hmm. But I didn't actually. I did at the end. I jumped in for a bit, but I didn't go in swimming with them. I videoed them. It was just so fun to all the little shrieking and laughter in the water, but they really enjoyed it. And the stingrays, of course, they're so tame. And we were the only boat. There was nobody else there with us, so that was really nice. Colleen, what was your favorite thing about the islands?
Everything really. The stunning beauty, both in and out of the water, and the coral gardens. The colors of the coral was so brilliant, purple and pinks, and then being able to see somebody who's snorkeling a long ways away. The water was so clear, and all the tropical fish that were just weaving in and out, and it was just fantastic.
That's great. Yeah, I have to say the snorkeling was without a doubt the best I've seen anywhere in the world, and I couldn't get enough. And even the very last couple of days, which I know, Kathy, you did as well, we stayed at the Hotel Intercontinental for a couple of nights, and we were able to just snorkel off our motus, off our overwater bungalows, and it was just so beautiful. Yeah. And even though there wasn't, I would say, quite as many fish right there as there were in the coral gardens, you could find them. They were still to swim out a little bit, and just so amazing. Swimming in the rain was beautiful. It was just a stunning time. Vicky, you were going to talk a little bit about the most expensive island. And the fact that you've been there. Where was that?
The Brando. So the Brando actually is an ultra luxury resort. It's built in around a lagoon. There's 12 islands with a lagoon in the middle. The villas are, well, I was telling you, I've been in the industry for over 30 years. It's the most beautiful resort I've ever been to in my life. Just absolutely incredible, pristine. A lot of unique things about it, but the most unique is that there's no carbon footprint the entire time you're on the island. And it has an actual working eco station on board. So they're doing all types of research on board, I'm used to saying business, on the, in the islands. And just absolutely amazing, beautiful, quiet like you've never heard quiet in your life. And it's about a 20-minute flight. The islands are Tetiaroa from Papeete. So it's a quick little 3-seater kind of plane that takes you over to the islands. And, you know, Tahiti is definitely a bucket list destination. The Brando is at the top of a bucket list, I would say. My biggest regret is I only stayed there for one night. I would love to go back and spend more time there.
How much would I have to spend if I wanted to spend a couple of nights there?
Well, didn't you checked it, didn't you? Because I was saying that I thought it was about 4,000 US a night.
It was low season was €3,000 per night.
Right, yeah.
Euro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
it might
kind of
be,
says it all, doesn't it?
yeah, it might be a little out of the price range right now.
Cruise with us for a week for less than that.
True that. That's too funny.
Exactly.
Now I'm gonna show you a few of our photos. We each picked a couple of our favorite photos from our trips. But Vicky, first of all, you were gonna teach us a little bit of Tahitian.
Oh, no, well, my favorite word is yorana. So that means it's almost like Hawaiian, aloha, hello. But the Tahitian people, they are some of the most amiable, lovely, peaceful people you can ever imagine meeting. And just the way when they speak, it's like they sing. So whenever you see them, anyone, they'll greet you with yorana. It's a lovely, lovely language, and the people are absolutely amazing. They're the highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's great. Any other words for us?
Meruru means thank you.
Oh,
And
I
then
should
half
look
of
that.
it actually is learning the names of the islands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And saying them politely.
Exactly. I know what one you're thinking about.
Yeah. I was gonna repeat it, but I actually, because one of my pictures is from it, and I thought, what if I say it wrong?
We're talking about Whakarava. It's my favorite word.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful island as well. So
It is. It's in the Tuamotus, which
yeah,
is spectacular diving as well in the Tuamotus too.
great. Okay, so I'm gonna share screen. It's gonna just take me a sec here to switch over to some pictures, and let me know if they show up because it is a little bit awkward. Are we seeing a picture?
Yeah.
Excellent. So Kathy, I think this is yours.
Yeah, this was, I mean, like Vicky was saying, the staff on board, the Gauguins and the Gauguins are so amazing. And truly, I was only on the ship for 7 days. And when I left the ship, I was in tears. I was sobbing, saying goodbye to all of them. It was unreal. And we're all like friends on Facebook now. And it was just, they're just fabulous. Yeah, couldn't say enough.
They make it an authentic experience for the guests, right?
Yeah.
Because they love to sing and dance, and it's a very natural thing, talking about the history and the culture.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this picture.
Oh, this was our day around Bora Bora, and he took us to this little island, and he made opened up a coconut, and he made us their island style pizza with coconut and different fruits on top of it. And this is my girlfriend and I just enjoying the day. It was a fabulous day.
Oh, it's hard to believe that was only, what are we now? We're in April. It was only a couple of months ago. Where myself and a few others that are on the call here were there. And it's hard to believe that it was just such a short time ago.
This was just, I mean, the water's probably about waist deep. And it really, the picture just doesn't do it justice as to how clear the water is, but
beautiful.
This just basically says it all for me. And this was a photo of, we had an overwater bungalow. It was our 30th anniversary, my husband and I, And I'm usually the one that loves to spend money. And I said, oh my gosh, these are kind of expensive. And he's like, nope, we're going to do it. We're going to stay for 2 nights. Well, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So
Yeah.
I would definitely splurge and do this, because quite honestly, you will forget about the money you spent, but you'll always remember the memory.
Yeah, this looks like our room, actually. I'm wondering, I know the only thing that was, I went with my mom, and she was my roommate, and we had to share a bed because these are built for two, who are maybe on a, I don't know, romantic getaway or whatever, but it's okay. It was king size, and mom and I love each other, so we were good. But yeah, and just that's right there is the stairs walking down to the water. It was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
Your friend.
This was one of my friends. So you can see how deep the water was. Lots of sharks and lots of fish, and the lemon sharks are down further. They're the ones with the teeth, apparently. So, it was fun. A little unnerving when they started getting a little too aggressive, but no, it was fun. Had a good time.
And that's your picture too, I think, Kathy. It's just a picture of our ship, which was, and a beautiful, pretty picturesque when you're floating around out in the little,
well, you really see
tenders.
how small it is, and how Vicky can talk to how the ship is built so that it can just go right into the islands.
Exactly, yeah. So it has a shallow draft, so that gives it the ability to sail away into the lagoon. So when you can just see how close we actually get into the islands. So you can spend, the first time I sailed out, I hardly got off the ship the entire time, because you're just so close in like that, and you can see the islands, and it's spectacular.
Colleen, that's yours.
Yeah, this is, we had just arrived in Bora Bora, and they were greeted by this amazing little band all playing their ukuleles, and they were just having a great time. It's such an authentic culture that is still completely genuine, and they sat there all day, they played their ukuleles, they were happy, and we just loved the entertainment as we were waiting for a tender to get back to the ship.
Yeah, it was really well done. Every time you did tender in, there was always some activity or some shopping you could do, and not your typical tourist shopping. It was really, they had some really great stuff. It's really nice. This is one of mine. This is at, I was at one of the private beaches that we went out to, and oh my gosh, I think it's, for me, this is one of the most spectacular natural places I've ever been. It was an uninhabited island, and the fish, you just walked out into the water and they were all over. Absolutely breathtaking. This was the best snorkeling I've ever seen anywhere. It was unbelievable. Really enjoyed that day. And I just loved this picture. It all over the different islands, they have all their boats up on the little stilts to accommodate the tides, but I just thought it was so peaceful and tranquil. So I really liked this shot. It's on one of the days that we spent we grabbed a cab one day and jumped in and just went around one of the islands, and it was just a wonderful day, great experience. One of the things that I loved the most was the foliage and the flowers. And I'm a bit of a flower lover anyway, but just blown away by the sheer uniqueness of the flowers there. They're just absolutely stunning, and it just looked like something in a floral department somewhere, but it was just on the side of the road. I was just, blown away. We went to, one of my favorite experiences was when we went out to a little pearl farm. So this is actually us heading to the showroom for the pearl farm, and they spend their time right there sorting the pearls and grading them. And when we got there, they actually showed us how they were grown, and I was really amazed to hear that it takes somewhere between 18 months and 2 years for the first size pearls, which I would think, I'm wearing my pearl, South Sea pearl necklace today, and these would be probably the 2-year size. And then after the pearls get to that size, they open up the little oyster, and then they pop in another little, basically a seed pearl inside, the same size as the original ones. and then they grow another 2 years, and that's where you get the really large pearls. And I'm amazed that the oysters live through that. But yeah, so when you look around where this picture is to the left and the right, there was actually the pearl farm, and it's a huge thriving business for them. Absolutely. This is just a beautiful little picturesque swing that was on at the pearl farm. I just thought, oh, I could have spent my whole day. Give me a glass of wine and sit me down. Lovely. And I bought myself a beautiful, this is a picture of it, a beautiful pearl, and it's called a peacock pearl. So it's a black pearl, but it's a peacock color. And I'm going to get a gorgeous ring made out of it. It's actually at the jeweler right now, but I couldn't have it made because they are closed at the moment. So when they're open again, I'll have a chat with them, but they're holding, so I'm sure it's safe there. And this was just one of the pictures that I took when we were up on we took a drive up into the mountains and a small hike. And this was just a picture of the Paul Gauguin ship from the top of our hike. But you can just see the lush green of the whole area. And that's what the whole experience was like. It was just everywhere we went, each of the islands was unique and different. The culture was slightly different, but the commonality was these beautiful, beautiful, lush tropical green that you get with that intense amount of rain that they get there. Probably not unlike what people think when they come here, only different plants. Really unique. Okay, so that.
I think one of the most amazing things, really, anyone who has ever been will tell you it's more beautiful than any picture you've ever seen.
Oh.
You know, it's the pictures just do not do it justice.
Yeah, it's very true. So that's really about it for our chat about Tahiti today, unless you girls have anything further you want to add. Vicky, do you want to have anything else you want to chat about?
You know, I'll maybe just tell you a bit about the ship. I think one of the great things about this experience is that it's all inclusive. So you don't spend time worrying about every little detail because obviously all of your meals are included on board the vessel. All of your alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages, all your gratuities. So it is really the only all-inclusive experience in the islands, and it's just a lovely, laid-back, easy way to experience the destination. The Gauguins that Kathy Larson mentioned as well, they make it an authentic experience. And we sail year-round, so we'd love to welcome you on board our vessel and welcome you to the islands of Tahiti.
Thanks a lot, Vicky. I have to say that one thing that I was completely blown away by was the level of care and attention by the staff on board. Absolutely. And Francis, I can see you nodding, and Leif too.
Yeah.
They were just absolutely amazing. And they, I mean, the ship and the experience and everything were wonderful, but it was the staff that
they
really
remember your name and remember your preferences.
Yeah.
You had incredible ratings with
it.
them.
Was great. One of the girls that was on board with me, I think there was 12 of us together, and one of the girls and I had just completed our level 1 WSET, the sommelier course. And so there was one of the waiters was a sommelier. I think he was level 4 or something. He knew a lot more than we did. And he was really sweet. So every night he would bring out something for us to test, and he wouldn't tell us what it was, but just that level of detail. I mean, you just don't get that very often in an experience. So we really enjoyed it. It was just a lovely time. So Kathy, anything else?
Well, I was just going to say that I think a lot of people, when they look at Paul Gauguin or they look at a trip to Tahiti, they'll look at the price tag. Everybody wants to know how much it's going to cost. It is an expensive place to go. And I think Paul Gauguin, at least for us, was the way to go because it was very cost effective. The value that we got was amazing with the marina that came out the back with the kayaks and people are scuba divers. You can scuba dive off the back there. They'll take you out to wherever you want to go. That's an additional cost, but the cost was not very much actually. But I just thought that the value was really there because we spent 4 days before getting on the cruise. We were in Papeete. And I tell you, when you get the bill for your breakfast, it's like, and it's got a comma in it, but 6,200 francs or French Polynesian francs. and you convert it and you go, oh my gosh, yeah, $25 easy for breakfast, or $30, $30, $40 for a burger and some fries. Yeah. So the value was really there to be on the ship.
Yeah, I was quite surprised about that too. And I would say I still wouldn't have given up those last couple of days because that experience was absolutely amazing, but I sure wouldn't do more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it was very nice to have everything included on board, and the wines and everything. It was really good.
Yeah.
That was great. And Colleen, anything else?
No, I just wish I did the longer sailing. So I think I'll have to maybe plan a group to go next fall and do the 10 or 11-day sailing.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning.
Yeah, I can't imagine
a lot.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting off after 7 days. I wasn't ready after 10, so, or 10 or 11, whatever we were. So yeah. Okay, so that wraps up our today's episode.
It's amazing how long that 7 days.
I think you cut out there.
Sorry. I just said it's amazing how long the 7 days is while you're on board. Like, it seemed we were gone for 2 weeks.
That's good. Well, it's very restful, I think, right? Yeah, it's very nice.
It was fabulous.
So we'll just wrap up today's episode by saying that we're planning on doing these weekly. And our next week's speaker is actually a young gentleman named Ashish. I'm not going to murder his last name because there's no way I can pronounce it. But he is from Big Five Tours and Safaris. And he's going to come on and talk to us about sustainable travel. He's an extremely engaging and entertaining young gentleman, but he's also comes from a long history of tourism, and we're hoping that he's going to be able to get a tour guide from Colombia on as well. He's going to ask him to come on to the call with us and talk about his experience in Colombia as a tour guide. And so if you're available next week at 4 o'clock Thursday, I will send out the invitation, and anytime you can join us, please do. Always great to have a few people on the call. And these are being recorded, so if you wanted to share with somebody after, we also have Departures Lounge on YouTube, which this will be uploaded to after a couple of days once we've got it converted. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you to Kathy, Colleen, and Vicky for
Thanks,
coming on board today.
Yeah. Maruru.
Maruru.
Nice to see some happy, smiling faces and some ones that we know well, and we will see you next time.